Welcome, everybody. Surprise, I'm here to do a live stream. It's been a while since I've been on, mostly just because I've been going through a lot of transition. As I'm aware, many other people in my spirit family are also going through times of transition. And these can look like different things. You know, your times of transition, they can just look like something changed, or it could be like in my instance, like, the appearance of like a health issue. But for me, it's not really what I consider a health issue because overall I'm very healthy. But I've been having some ascension symptoms. And one of the ascension symptoms I've been having is something that's cropped up here and there, probably in the last, 7, 8 years that I've been on this journey of spiritual expansion, are occipital neuralgia migraines. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with those or has had those, but occipital neuralgia, from the research I've done and my own personal experience, is gives you headaches that are far beyond any other headache you could imagine, even like standard migraines. And so I'll kind of tell you what occipital neuralgia. So what this means is you have occipital nerves, the back of your skull. So if you reach, you'll feel like that little protrusion, the point in the back of your head, sort of. That's where your spine meets your skull. I think it's called the cerebrocervical joint. And then, so off like 2 fingers to the right and left, and then like 2 fingers, 3 fingers down, you'll meet the occiput, the bottom of the skull. And so there's lots of nerves, cranial nerves, that run up into there, and they also go up into your scalp, over your ear, behind your, like on the inside here, but not like in your ear, but like all the surface stuff. So when you have occipital neuralgia, what happens is those nerves become inflamed. And they don't know why. Like there's no research to say like, well, we know this is what causes it. There's lots of potential reasons. Mine happens to be energy blockage. I have a lot of energy blockage, particularly right there at the neck. And I've been working on that, trying to work through it. The thing is my ego mind thinks it should be fixed right now instead of understanding that fixing it's part of the journey. And it's not really fixing it, it's integrating it. But these headaches are insane. Like right now, I can move my head and everything really good. I actually had to go to the hospital 2 times last week. I was in there. I went into the emergency room. I was treated. I think I spent the night there. No, I didn't. Not the first night. The second time I went in, I ended up spending 2 nights in the hospital, just for him to do all these blood tests and take CT scans and MRIs in my brain and my neck. Good news is I'm super healthy. Even the stuff that's been put into my upper part of my aorta, all's healed up really nice. My chest incision, my sternotomy, because they have to cut your sternum in half, that's all grown back together really nice. And I've been actually feeling really, really good. And then these headaches started probably about a week ago. They started to act up, maybe a little over a week ago, but they started off really intermittent, and they got to a point where they've never been before. So under advice of my surgeon, because of like my history of like aortic dissection and things like that, they told me to go to the emergency room to get checked out. So I did, and like I said, I had all the testing done, and I'm actually really healthy. All my blood tests come back really good. Everything's really good. So they just have to check all those things just to make sure I don't have some sort of vascular issue or something going wrong that's like detrimental or, could cause my death. So none of that is. So then what happened is I need to get a nerve block. They don't do nerve blocks inpatient at Cleveland Clinic, which I think is really absurd in a way. I mean, it's one of the greatest hospital systems in the world, supposedly, and they can't do a nerve block while you're admitted in the hospital? It's not an inpatient procedure? Okay. Well, that was weird to me. So I got out of the hospital, and they gave me something called a headache cocktail, which is a bunch of stuff. The primary thing that seemed to work the best for me, actually, was the Benadryl. When I take Benadryl, because I feel like part of this is actually like seasonal. Because it seems like at this time of year, season changes, I would get these occipital migraines. And I can tell you as a shaman, the earth energy coming up. In our tradition, we call that Saiwa. That's the earth's energy. She's reaching up now and starting to bring life back to the surface. Right now it's April. It's raining here. We got the April showers. And Mother Nature and Mother Earth, Pachamama, she's sending up her loving energy. And it's very powerful. It's extremely powerful. So powerful, as a matter of fact, that it's how I know I have the blockage is through running my energy, is through doing my shamanic practices where I'm actually moving energy through the nervous system, moving energy through the idea of the physical body. And I can sense the restrictions there. And, my ego mind wants to know all the answers now, and I need to fix it now. And, why can't this, all these silly things the mind tries to do instead of just being acceptant and with the experience. Well, I tend not to listen to those things in my mind. Instead, I be with the experience. And through being with the experience, it brought a lot of awareness and everything to me. I got to really take time to be still and be in the hospital by myself and, just really have some time to relax and go into myself. And it was quite helpful. So where was I? So he gave me a headache cocktail, which sort of worked some. It helped some. But these headaches were excruciating. Like, I couldn't move my head. I was stiff. My muscles were starting to, and my neck were starting to spasm from trying to hold my head still. I have to consistently use my breath to release the tension in my neck and shoulders. Using my tools, like it's all on purpose is what I would say. Like everything that happens has to happen. It's teaching me how to rely on my tools, how to be calm and patient even when you're in pain. The ice waters taught me that. So anyways, I ended up going, I had an online meeting with a neurologist, because first you have to have a consult before you can get the nerve block. We just sat there and talked for a little bit, and then I was sent to Strongsville, by the Strongsville Mall, Cleveland Clinic. And so I went there, and I met with a really nice lady who then proceeded to give me some shots into the base of my skull area back here, which sounds gruesome, but it really wasn't bad at all. It was pretty easy and made my whole head numb. So, but the thing is it wasn't like, because there was times when I was having these headaches that I'd go into meditation, I could breathe, and it would go away so fully I would be just euphoric. Like for like an hour or 2 hours after my meditations, I'd be euphoric. It wasn't like that. It was just I had a numb head, but I could still feel pressure, and the headaches pulse. They pulsate with your pulse, and so sometimes it would be pulsing so hard my head would move boink, 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 boink with the pulsing of the headache. So I can kind of still feel that pulse. It was decent. By the evening, it started to kind of wear off. I had kind of a rough night, but not too rough, and then I ended up falling asleep and got some good sleep. Woke up this morning not feeling too shabby. Still having some pain in the nerves, but down to about a 5. So I got up today and I did my shamanic practices and went through all that. And during my shamanic practices, Spirit came to me. I had a download that came into me, and it said for me to do a microdose of psilocybin mushrooms. And it's been a long time for me because I didn't think of doing them since my open heart surgery or anything like that for expansion. But it turns out it's just what I needed. So I did a microdose earlier today. It's over now and all that stuff. And what happened is my neck pretty much stopped hurting. But it wasn't just from the mushrooms. I used the mushrooms. And when you use psychedelics, what it does is it gets parts of your brain communicating that don't normally communicate. So this can create coherence if you use the opportunity. So what I did is I just went deep. I went deep into a meditation. I actually used a meditation that I like to use a lot, the Gateway Experience. If no one's ever checked that out, check that out, the Gateway Experience. And I was able to bring healing into myself, on a different kind of level. And so since then, I'm feeling pretty good. So I decided to come on and do a live stream so I can kind of let everybody know what's going on. The other thing, I'm going to have another surgery, another aortic surgery. That's going to be on April 10th. I go in April 10th for the first part. And on the first part, they're going to hook me up to an IV. They're going to hydrate me with IV fluids to protect my kidneys. And then I'm also going to have a lumbar tube, a drain installed into my back. That's to protect my spine. And then the surgery will be the next day. And what they'll do is they'll make an incision in my groin and they'll go through my femoral artery and they'll fish a wire up through there up to, and they'll probably have like camera or ultrasound and stuff to help guide this. They'll guide it up through my femoral artery because the femoral arteries come together and then they branch into your aorta in your your pubic area, sort of, maybe a little higher. And then it goes up and then it curves and then it goes into your heart. Well, everything from my heart down to almost my diaphragm has been fixed and or replaced. So that's all new stuff and it's healed up real good. It's better than the original. Good news. And so the reason I have to have this done is I had a CT scan done finally a few weeks ago. They were waiting to do the CT scan. The doctors were waiting because I was showing high kidney numbers. But my kidneys started to heal and come back to normal, so then they could do a CT with contrast, which is important when you're trying to look at vascular structures to see this contrast, to be able to see it. So when I finally got this done, my surgeon, I had a meeting with her afterwards, and then she told me that, well, you have to remember your dissection was from the root of your aorta all the way down into your legs. It looks like everything's good until about somewhere in my mid-aortic, abdominal aortic area. So what's happening is like you have a blood vessel, and when you dissect, a wall of the blood vessel kind of splits away, and then blood can get in there, and this creates a false blood vessel that doesn't take blood really anywhere, usually squirts out somewhere else. But what happens is when you open that up, it creates compression on what they call the true lumen, or the central part of the artery, and that can block blood flow to my legs, to my digestive organs, and even to my kidneys. So what we found out, which I didn't know before, is this compression is actually stopping some of the blood flow to my right kidney, which is great news in a way because we can't find out why I'm hypertensive. But the thing is we all know, me and my doctors know, that if you don't have proper blood flow to your kidneys, you're going to have hypertension. Because when the kidneys sense that they're not getting enough blood flow, they send signal to the brain, and the brain says, raise the blood pressure. There's a cascade of, neurochemical things that happen. I'm just trying to make it easy. And it tells your blood pressure to rise to get more blood into the kidneys. So that's kind of the reason why I've been working hard with them and with Spirit to try to come together to find the answer. So the answer is that's what we're going to do is we're going to go in through the leg. They're going to deploy a stent. And when that stent deploys, that will help out that false lumen and everything. And then the good news is now I have pretty much a whole new aorta from the root all the way into nearly my legs. So that's going to be really cool because nobody has any idea why my aorta dissected. And I've had a bunch of genetic testing done as well, and my genetic testing has all come back clean. I don't have any genetic diseases or soft tissue diseases or connective tissue diseases or anything like that. All my tests come back extremely healthy, which makes sense to me because I take care of myself and I've been living a holistic, healthy lifestyle for several years. Now, for some people, it'll be like, well, people get confused. They think I've had a heart attack or something. No, my heart is in perfect shape. Everything works perfect with the heart. It's just the tube, just the blood vessel. It started to dissect. I don't have a family history of that to my awareness. So nobody really knows. It's kind of a mystery, and it's not happening at any other parts of the vasculature of my body. So it's kind of an unknown thing. I think it's completely energetic. I believe that all physical symptoms ultimately come into the field of energy. And I've been working lots with energy now for several years. And I probably have overloaded my nervous system a few times. And what I kind of put that akin to, that's a 3-leaf prayer in our tradition, is essentially you got to stretch your experience to create more flow. So I'm pretty sure I've been born with issues with the aorta. So it's probably some sort of mild birth defect. because now I know so much about the aorta and the symptoms it can have. From my earliest memories, I've been having symptoms. So like this dissection didn't like happen overnight. It could have been happening for 40 years, slowly happening. But I definitely have shown symptoms of that. So that's what's next. That's what's next on Don Antonio's agenda is getting that surgery completed. That's going to be April 10th. The tough news is that I'll be disabled completely pretty much for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then at least 12 to 16 weeks I'll be at like full recovery. I'm just about on April 2nd. I'll be 5 months post open heart surgery, and I have recovered from that vastly. I mean, I'm in the gym, I can lift, I can do all kinds of things. I was actually able to do a few pull-ups recently, which made me really happy because pretty much they told me I would never do them again. But, I like to push the envelope and, prove the doctors wrong. I am a holistic practitioner, and I don't believe everything they tell you is actually for you. A lot of the things, these limitations they put on me are for people that work within those limitations. I want to go beyond those limitations. Because for me, it's not about just surviving, okay? I have no fear of death. So what I really don't want to do, I guess what will create more fear is not being able to live fully. And I believe that everything that's happened is going to make me better than I've ever been, because besides the headache that I've been having for the last couple weeks, I feel great. Everything feels good. So I'm going to kind of stop there with the story for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm open the floor for anybody that's here, any of my soul family members or anybody that's just coming in to watch. Let us know where you're watching from. We're going to do some breath work here in a minute. But I want to open up the space to allow anybody who has any questions or would like to share any insights. Maybe you know something about occipital neuralgia. I've learned a whole bunch of stuff. The things that have been taught to me now have just added to my storehouse of healing intelligence. So it's fantastic. Oh, let's see. We had a couple comments here. Feel free to comment. Brianna Burgess says, "Good evening, Anthony." Hi, Brianna. Welcome. Tachi says, "That drumming just brought me back out of my breath work." How fun. How fun. I'm going to take a drink here. Electrolytes. And what I'm going to first do is I'm going to take my candle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cleanse my aura, my space with the power of fire. And what I'll do is I'll send this power of fire whoosh, to you, because energy and magic know no distance. It only knows that it's all one thing. So allow the energy of this flame to cleanse you and cleanse your energy field, helping you to calm and relax, and just we can be here together. Fantastic. Let's take a few breaths so that way we can clear the energy of our body. So what you're going to do is you're just going to close your eyes, and you're going to take in a nice deep breath through your nose, making sure you fill up your belly and your chest. Hold it for a moment, and then out with a nice soft sigh, almost like you're fogging a mirror, okay? You're going to breathe in soft and deep, and you're going to fog the mirror. Breathe in deep. Fog the mirror. Good. Just a few breaths. Notice how you feel. If you're doing these breaths along with me, you're going to feel that feeling of relaxation. And what you're doing is you can just close your eyes. Don't do this if you're driving or anything. I know it's like rush hour for people in my time zone and stuff. You could just kind of do the breathing, just not so intense. Keep your eyes open. Watch the road. But we're going to breathe in. We're going to do some more. Take a nice deep breath in. Fog the mirror. Once more. Big breath. Good. I like to do these kinds of breaths about 3 at a time, and I just relax for a few moments in between. Just a few moments, and I repeat 3 big breaths. Fog the mirror. Last breath, make it big as you can. Good, good, good. Now notice how you feel. See, just those few breaths. People kind of get mistaken about breath work. Not all forms of breath work take you into your deep parts of your emotion and bring you to tears and all those things. Those are specific types of breathing that we do. But I like to showcase how breath can be used in many different capacities. Just to clear your energy, just to clear you out, find some relaxation in your body. And as you're sitting here, what you want to do is kind of on purpose relax your body. I usually start at my neck and shoulders, and I just kind of move my shoulders and my neck around. What I'm doing is I'm just releasing. I'm letting everything just fall off. It's like spaghetti, just letting it all fall off you. And then I breathe into it. And then I let all of it fall off, and I breathe in. And it's like I swell up, and then I contract, and all the hucha, the heavy energy, falls off. And good. That feels good. Who feels good with that? I like that. Hey, Faith. Good to see you, sweetheart. I just sat here. I'm glad you made it. I was just sitting here letting everybody in on what's going on with my health and all that stuff and the ascension symptoms. It's been amazing. I know I just keep talking to people that are seeing the ascension symptoms. And let's talk about ascension symptoms for a minute. What does that mean? That means, in a scientific sense, what I would say is what's happening is our frequency is changing, and what that's doing is that's changing our perception of reality. Because the thing to understand is that you don't perceive this external reality, it's internal. When you see something, it's just energy and waves of light that your eyes take one form of energy and turn it into another and feed it to your brain so it can have an idea of what it is. So we've been taught to identify all these things and structures. So all this stuff then has a meaning that we've assigned to it. So this is kind of how we perceive reality. But if you can begin to shift your perception a little bit, if you can kind of loosen up on your definitions and just sort of kind of look at things as just stuff instead of calling a hammer or a drum or a bell, could this be something else besides a drum? Sure, it could be. You're just eliminating all of these definitions, just letting the definitions slide. And it's not a permanent thing. It's kind of a temporary thing for you to stretch your mind, opening up. It's like stretching your arms and legs after a long car ride. It kind of feels like that. You're stretching, opening up, and allowing yourself to take in new information. Brianna says, hi, Faith. I don't know who Indie Folk Love is. Ciao! Ciao to you. Feeling energy flowing through my body. Let it flow, my friend. Let it flow. Let it flow. The floor is open. Anybody has any questions? I'm here to answer any questions, or if you have an insight you'd like to share, I'd like to hear about that. And again, maybe you have information about occipital neuralgia or occipital neuralgia headaches. There's another thing. I'll share something I learned with you. One of my medical massage therapy friends mentioned to me that there's a band, a fascia band that's connected into the sternum that goes up into the neck and can cause this form of neuralgia. Well, I'm like, well, heck, that makes a lot of sense, because I got a big old scar right down the center of me where they opened me up, and it's gruesome. The scar ain't bad, but the awareness of being cut in half basically and ripped open is gruesome. I've been working on this. I can only go so far, though. I'm still kind of nervous to push too hard, on the sternum. Although it doesn't hurt, it's just, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to go to my massage therapist and have them work on my sternum. So not yet. Maybe later. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little breath and drumming. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in to a count of 4 drums. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to hold, and then we're going to breathe out to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. Follow. In. Good. Just relax. See, breathing, I don't even like to use the term breath work because I feel like it's really new agey or something. And this is actually ancient human technology. I kind of like to use kind of more specific ideas like focused respiration or conscious respiration or conscious breathing. There's lots of ways it can be framed. Some people even try to take forms of breathing and like brand it as their own. Like I know some people that like try to sell themselves as like this is somatic breathing or hollow somatic. They're like one lady I know, she takes holotropic breathing, which is illegal, by the way. You can't use that. They can sue you for that. Calling anything you do holotropic if you haven't bought their stuff. Isn't that crazy? It's just breathing. Somebody owns it. Holosomatic breathing. So it sounds really flashy and special and all this stuff, but it's just marketing, because the whole idea about learning about breathing isn't about following some sort of rules. That's standard mind stuff that we're used to because that's how school is, right? School is like you have to follow this set of rules, this recipe, or otherwise it don't work. No, you work with a breathwork facilitator like myself so you can learn some basic techniques, a deeper understanding of the science and maybe the metaphysics of breathing. And then what your goal is to practice enough to where you start to develop your own awarenesses of what patterns work good for you. Like some patterns have been scientifically tested, like the sigh. What's it called? It's got a name. I can't think of it, but essentially it's a double breath in. And what this does, they've been able to see that this kind of breathing quickly turns on your parasympathetic dominant switch, your parasympathetic nervous system. So when you think about it, it's like, remember when you were a kid or you see a kid cry and they go, that's the body's natural way of calming itself. Or you see an animal do it. My pit bull does it all the time. You're like, Frank, you're a master of breath. But the whole idea is to not have to be like, you don't follow a breath guru. Like we're past that part now. Like we don't need gurus anymore. What we need is just people, community leaders. We need people who want to help people come together, because that's why I like to do these live streams and group sessions. I love doing the private work, don't get me wrong, but the group sessions are just so unmistakably powerful. Even when they're online, like people get confused. They think like you have to be hands-on for energy to work. No, energy is universal. It doesn't matter where you go. I was just talking to somebody about Reiki. I think Reiki is a wonderful thing. However, it's highly commercialized. Most people don't really understand what it is. What does Reiki even mean? It just means universal energy. That's what it means. The name and all the stuff and getting these attunements and paying people to attune you and all these things, that's all just marketing. If you either have the ability to move energy or you don't have the ability to move energy. What I can tell you is there's a lot of people that pawn themselves off as Reiki masters and things like that cannot move energy. I also know people that don't have any like skill or accreditation or identity like that, and they can move a lot of energy. So it's kind of like either you have or you don't. What you don't need is any sort of certificate to say that you have that ability. What I can tell you is all humans have the ability. Everybody has the ability to channel universal energy and help themselves, and then first help yourself and then help the other. It's almost like scuba diving. Share your air. But first, you got to make sure you can breathe before you help the other person to breathe. And that's a big mistake a lot of people that are healers make, is they're externalized and they're trying to fix everyone else and not taking time to make sure that they're clear. You have to clear that energy before you go in and you do a healing for someone, or you're even teaching a class about yoga or anything like that. You want to center yourself. You want to bring yourself into your breath. Open yourself up to whatever you perceive is the highest energy in the cosmos, whatever you perceive as holy or sacred or any word you want to inject there. What's God for you? Okay? That's where things get weird, because religion makes God this thing and it can only be this thing. And then when you ask someone, like, what is God to you? They can't really answer that. Or how do you experience God? Because God's in no book. You're not going to find God out. Jesus even told us, said, my Father's kingdom will not come with signs to be perceived. It's pretty cut and dry, right? Like, you're not going to see heaven out here. You're not going to touch it, feel it, smell it, taste it. Not out here. You may see it, smell it, touch it, taste it in here, because that's the true access point, is through the inner self. And another way I'd say that is through the nervous system. And even deeper, that vagus nerve that runs up the center of your body and connects all your organ systems up into your cranial nerves. If you get a good connection in that, you're going to have a good connection with God. It's like a default. It's just kind of how it happens. Physiological side, that's it. Thank you so much, Tachi Navarro. That's another side effect I've had since my first surgery. So like I'm having right side weakness in this hand and my eye and some other things. Along with that, and that's pretty normal after open heart surgery, is like brain fog. So what'll happen is like I know lots of words, and what'll happen is I'm talking and I'm channeling the information, and as it comes, I can't get the word out. So it's like having a stuttering problem is what it is. Like I can't get it out, and then I find it. I gave up on the last one because I knew someone would help me. Thank you so much, Tachi. Okay. Faith says, everyone come to the next group session. Yes, please do. I invite everybody. I make personal invites to people who are close to me on my messenger. I try to put it out on my page. Everybody's invited. If you want to come to Light Club, all you got to do is message me and you can get the link. Sunday actually is the next Light Club. So we're looking at the next Light Club on Sunday, and that's going to be a good time. I love these things. We take time to talk. We take time to meditate and breathe. And, everybody's going through something, right? And that's what it feels like. It's like you're showing up to be with your family. It's like that Sunday dinner with family. You're showing up to be there with your tribe, right? It's a beautiful thing. I recommend, if you've never tried, just come in and try. You don't have to turn on your camera. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. There's no force. You come in, you don't like it, leave. That's fine too. It's all right. I did your 20-minute breath work video yesterday. Very powerful. Okay, yeah, that's a breathing meditation, that one. I like that one. I like the 20-minute one. It's one of my favorites. Just got on. Hello, my sweet friend. Hello, my sweet friend. Good to see you again. It was nice to see you at Sacred Vortex. We had a nice live experience there. We had a big group of people came in, and Mary and I did a sound bath, breathwork and meditation session. And those are available to anybody. If anybody's interested, maybe you want to do one with your work people, or we do offer corporate wellness and things like that. Maybe for your work, maybe you talk to your manager or your boss, like, hey, I think it'd be a really good idea to have like a small session like a wellness session for our people. The thing is it's catching on, and a lot of corporations now are actually offering, they're setting budgets and they're spending and everything for wellness. So I recommend, if that's something you want to try, we already work with a whole bunch of different businesses, and it's a good time. It actually creates closeness with that tribe, with your work tribe. And then it's pretty fun too, because everybody will come in. So you have 20 people in the group. They come in, and then usually after it's over, 2 or 3 people stick around because they had really powerful spiritual experiences, and they don't want to talk in front of the other people. And so I kind of, I encourage that, because people usually say, when they come up to me, they're like, this is going to sound weird. And the first thing I say is, no, it's not going to sound weird. This is your experience, okay? Share your experience. Share your experience with joy. And then they'll tell me about this experience they had, a deep spiritual experience. And I just reassure them, like, that's really cool. That's really good. Imagine what else you can do if you keep working this, if you keep using your nervous system that way. Good to see you, Kelly Roach. Just got on. Oh, sorry. Hi, Ann. Hi. Good to see you. Tanya Johnson Turner. What's up, my sister from another mister? I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Hopefully, maybe you'll make it this Sunday to Light Club. I almost call it Fight Club. My favorite movie, by the way. Very special. Shows you the power of your mind. Brianna says, the group sessions are amazing and powerful. Heck yeah, man. They're so powerful. And I mean, they're just as powerful in person as they are online. And it's life changing, because when we're in there working together, we're all parts of one living consciousness. So just even if there's even 10 people and they show up, it multiplies all of our energy, especially if we use it with that intention. When I lead the group, I use the intention to help people pull up their intention for us all to work together as like one living unit, to first help ourselves, clear our energy, bring healing into us, and then radiate it. We do some specific types of exercises to learn how to radiate our energy. You can become a radiator of light, and that's really what it's all about. Your spiritual awakening is to become a perfect absorber and radiator of light. You want to be able to absorb light and give it out. You're not just trying to push it out, emptying yourself. You're filling yourself, letting it overflow you. That's the true path of the healer. I love you. Your words always fit perfect. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. I love to hear that. That means that you like my song. Not everybody can handle my song. Some people can, some people can't. There's nothing wrong with you. If you don't like what I'm saying, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's just how it feels for you. It's all about frequency and vibration. I might be late for Light Club. I have hypnosis and sound class on Sunday. So are you learning hypnosis, or is it you're going to be hypnotized? I have a lot of experience there. I'd love to talk about it. What up, y'all? 1 million Buddhas. It's what are you, Lightning Keeper or something? Something like that. The Lightning Keeper has arrived. Don Buddha. I will be there. First rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Can't wait for Light Club. Yeah, we do a little different. First rule of Light Club is tell everybody. Everybody could use that. It's a very deep, on a more scientific idea, it's a very deep nervous system reset. The side effect to resetting your nervous system is a deeper sense of your spirit, because you're getting the incessant thinking out of the way. When you go into a group like that, you can accomplish more in 30 minutes than meditating for 30 years. And I'm not just saying that. This has actually been studied scientifically. They've shown that by using your breath in a meditative state, that you can reach deeper levels of brainwave change, because that's really what meditation is about. You're learning how to adjust your brainwave rate to become in the space of acceptance, no resistance, and just being. And that's really what meditation is for. Meditation is for you to go into the state of being, to become familiar with your higher mind. Radon, I think you mean Raiden from Raiden Wins from Mortal Kombat. He's one of my favorites. Oh, here he says, whatever that Mortal Kombat dude, Raiden. Yeah, I'm getting hypnosis. Okay, cool. I've gotten it myself a few times. I don't know if you're familiar with QHHT. That's something that was developed by the late Dolores Cannon. It's pretty good if your practitioner's good. It's a little outdated, because you have to remember she developed this at a much earlier time of our ascension. So there's better techniques and stuff available now beyond what most people kind of do. I have some really strong practitioners that I know, and they've taught me, and I use that in my healing sessions with people and everything, because it's not like you see on TV. Hypnosis isn't like they're going to make you bark like a dog and do that stuff. It's actually about the power of suggestion. It's actually about being able to softly plant seeds into the subconscious program that over time create change. You're not trying to go in there, that we call that sledgehammer healing. When you try to go in there and make all the changes at once, that's your ego trying to do that. What it is, you have trust in spirit that the energy comes through you exactly the way it needs to. Even if that person, as they leave your session, thinks they didn't get nothing out of it. It might be a while. This happens to me a lot. I have people that will text me or message me, and they'll be like, I was at one of your sessions like a year ago, and I thought nothing really happened, and now it's a year later, and I'm aware that like something unlocked in me. I'm like, precisely. Like, this isn't the end, this is the beginning. When you do the work, what happens is you're opening up doorways for new forms of energy. It takes a little time, most of the time, for new neural pathways to be born, right? Because it's electricity. for that new neural pathway to be born, and thus a new reality to be born. Because that's more really what's happening, is we're moving through quantum space. This is hard for most people to understand, so I'll try to make it quick. Some of you will understand, some of you will not, and that's okay. It's all about quantum shifting. You're shifting probably somewhere 1 billion times per second. It's happening over and over and over. We're perceiving that, those little segments, we're perceiving them as time. But actually all time is now. All right. So when you're on your ascension path, what can happen is you'll have a breakthrough. Sometimes it looks more like a breakdown. Breakdowns are breakthroughs. It's what I try to help people understand. People come to me, I'm having a nervous breakdown. And I say, what if we reframe that into breakthrough? Already they start feeling better. Whenever you feel like it's breaking down, that's okay. It's not bad. You don't want to suppress it. You're like, okay, I understand why I think that, but can I? Do I have the power? Of course you do. Do I have the power to change the perspective from breakdown to breakthrough? Can I make it work for me? Yeah. And then that in itself creates a whole new reality, a quantum jump. Your frequency, the way you're taking in information and reality changes. Therefore, your reality changes. And we just look at these things as like, simple things like, oh, that changed and that changed. Or there's a new building, or there's new rules for this or that. We usually just kind of like dismiss it. But the more conscious you become, the more you see and understand what's happening. It's these big quantum shifts. It's like you're going from one frequency of consciousness to a different frequency of consciousness. What's happening as we're continuing to ascend, the jumps are getting bigger. And that's on purpose, because it's not supposed to be easy. I know everybody that's here watching, if you're sitting here watching, you're sitting here because you're on an ascension path. Otherwise, it won't make sense to you and you'll have to get out of here. That's what'll have to happen. I'm not going to make sense. But when you're on that ascension path, it can be extremely uncomfortable. The thing is acceptance that it's meant to be that way. It's okay that I'm uncomfortable. It's trying to teach me how to improve. What do I need to improve? It starts there. What do I need to change? What do I need to let go of? That's usually the real question. What is it that I need to release? Is there something I'm holding on to? And you don't sit there and try to overthink it. That's what the practices are for. You sit there, you breathe, you meditate, you open yourself to your higher power. And then what you're doing is you're asking for guidance. And you don't have expectation of how it should arise, because it might not be thunder in the sky and God talks to you. It might, but most of the time it's some sort of shift in your reality. You meet someone, or maybe get a flat tire that you're pissed off about when it happens, but it unfolds all these particular pathways for your reality to unfold. Like maybe you have a spare and you change it, or maybe you can't change it, so you call roadside assistance, and then you meet different people and they take you on these journeys of learning. That's the biggest mistake that we usually make as human beings, is that we're unacceptant of reality. Like someone in our family or someone close to us transitions. They leave here. We're in deep resistance, where we allow ourselves to fall into these emotional traps where it's just pain. And usually people that are in a lot of pain, it's them not realizing that they're afraid of their own death. It's their own mortality that makes them afraid. Plus, we've been taught and socially conditioned to look at death as this terrible thing. But I tell you, death is not the end. It is the beginning. That's all it is. It's one door closes, more doors open. And if we can train our minds to unlearn what was and then learn what is, the way we operate changes. And when that happens, the quantum shift happens. All you have to do is adjust the way you think. That's all it takes. Just one adjustment. If you can have one thing happen in your day that you recognize it's triggered you, and you recognize that you have a choice. You have a choice. Do I need to respond? Because most people blame being triggered externally. You've triggered me. Well, I can't. It's impossible. You have to choose to be triggered. And the ego hates that. It doesn't want to take any accountability or responsibility. But once you do, when you say, man, I'm triggered, I wonder why I'm pissed. Like, I know it's not this person's fault. I can blame them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to figure out what in me is, why did I give away my power and let this thing trigger me, this person or event or whatever. And once you turn the energy back inward, even though it's painful at first when you first start doing it, because then you start seeing yourself. And that's what most people are afraid of. Shadow work's terrifying, because you begin to see yourself. You begin to see the silly choices you're making, and then the ego doubles, and what it does is starts to judge itself instead of just accepting. Oh, I didn't understand why I was doing that before. Now I understand. I can change that, right? I'm always looking to improve, to change. I always want to try to be better than I was yesterday, I think that's really important. That's your drive for life, living drive. Whew, that was a big channel. Thanks for, I don't remember who brought me there. I think it was Miss Tanya Turner. Oh, we were talking about hypnosis. Hypnosis is great. We are the Nikola Tesla Tower. Yeah, pretty much. Something like that. That was called Wardenclyffe. That was the name of. So if anybody ever wants to study, which I recommend, study the history of Nikola Tesla. Use AI. AI finds more information because it's not limited as much as Google. So using AI to lead you into the history of Nikola Tesla. Very powerful. And you can learn about Wardenclyffe Tower. Actually amazing. First shaman I met 7 years ago was a professional hypnotist in Memphis. I think it kind of goes with the territory. I think it's part of the thing. Part of what makes me effective as a healer is my ability to use frequency, because it's really what hypnotism is about. It's shifting frequency, planting suggestions. It is a past life hypnosis. Yeah, so that's QHHT. That's what that is. The thing is it's wrong. There is no past life. It's all one life. So for most people, it doesn't really do anything because you're just taking information from this past life, but you're not working on the current one. So it doesn't matter what happened in the past life. It only matters in the one you're living or actually perceiving right now. So like I said, some of the technology is outdated and not being used properly, but it probably has, if you're getting it, I would imagine that it has some sort of maybe therapeutic value. But I wouldn't, put a lot of energy into it. Just kind of go with the flow of things. It's the best thing about hypnosis is the more you can just relax and go with the flow of things, the more you can get from it. The more that can come up. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else is going on? I don't have any events coming up except for Light Club. Light Club, again, it'll be Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you would like a link to that, all you have to do is message me on Facebook or text me, or if you have my number. But you can just hit me up on Facebook. You can also, this video goes to YouTube, so you could also comment on YouTube if you'd like. That's about it. I don't really have anything else to say, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some drumming and breathing, and we're just going to finish up out of here. Before we begin, great Creator, we call out to you and ask you to come into this space and help us to organize our energies and bring neurological coherence into the physical being and bring energetic coherence into our energy fields, into our pokpo. Help us to align our chakras and our nawis. Help us to see the beauty in every moment. Help us to extract the nectar in all happenings. Help us to step into the space of acceptance and love, and most of all, grace. To you we pray, Great Mother and Father of creation, Aho, Amen, and so it is. Anaiki kuyaiki, anaiki kuyaiki. Let's breathe. Breathing in. Hold. Out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Very good. I feel excellent. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. I had a great time coming on. I'm going to try to make more time to do more live streams, especially during my healing time, because this is all very healing to me, to be here with everybody who's here and the people that will watch later or catch the replay. I love you guys so much too. You're add to the energy of this, because don't forget, time is illusory, distance, space, it's all illusory. That's all parts of our perception. You just being here and having the loving intention to be here and share that loving intention with the others that are here. And I encourage all of you to be that radiance, be the radiant love that spreads out into the world. And remember, breath is life, okay? No breath, no life. If you know breath, you'll know life. Blessings to you all. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day and a great week. and I'll see you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Nike Kuyaiki Pichai Sonkolai. Hey, here it is.